I'm going to talk about something which is not medical. This is just a very interesting story. I had been in Australia for about 5 or 6 years and all of my colleagues were buying houses. Buying a house in Sydney is a big task. You have to get a loan, good financial history, all of that prerequisites. The year was 2011 and unfortunately at that time my dad had also passed away in June. And it was only after I came back from Pakistan in his funeral, I thought that I need to, provide some security to my family. And I think one of the first things I've got to do is buy a house. And I found one house. Both me and my wife liked it. It is small, but it suits our needs. It has got most of the things that we are looking for. Technically speaking, even though it's for auction, we could possibly buy this. I went to my own bank to apply for the home loan. We need these documents, and one of those documents was my tax return from last year. So every year in Australia we are meant to be filing for tax returns to the Australian Taxation Office, and they give you a summary back that this was your income, this is how much tax you paid, and the bank utilizes this information to work out loan serviceability, whether you're in a position to afford a loan. And that's a very crucial piece of document. I did not have that document with me. I don't know where it got lost or it got misplaced. I called the tax office. I said, look, the bank has asked me to get my tax return and tax file. Can you please provide me with the tax returns from last year? It's very important. And the tax officer said to me, yes, that's not a problem, but it may take about 4 weeks. The property is actually meant to be going on auction next week. I said, no, this is an official policy and protocol. In fact, I'll send you some paperwork in the post. You have to sign as a disclosure and privacy agreement. And only after that, we can release you that document. I said, oh man, this is not happening. I'm going to lose that auction and that house. I said to her that, look, you've got to help me out here. This is a house which I really want to buy. And you know what that tax officer said to me? She said, maybe this house is not meant for you. She's giving me an advice which is entirely unofficial and this is just ridiculous. Now, unfortunately, I did my tax with one of those prop-up tax agents who come to Westfield and, they do the tax in the tax season and then just get out of there. Now, do remember it was some Indian guy who did the tax for me, and he did give me his detail with his company address, phone number and website, but I'd lost that card and all that documentation. It was my fault, obviously, and I could not just find any of those documents on receipt of payment even. I tried to look for my bank credit card and my bank transaction details if I've done that transaction to him through my card. But then I could not find it, and then I remember actually I did a cash payment and it's crazy when things are not really lining up. And I did become convinced maybe that tax person was right. Maybe this house is not in my best interest. But I was disappointed. I was sad because it took me a few months of quite a frantic search to find the ideal house for my small family, and here I was not able to get it because of my own stupidity. Anyway, so what happened then? I had come back from a night shift in the hospital, and night shift was very busy and I could not sleep for some reason. So I started Google searching that tax agent, Westfield, hundreds of them. And I just kept going through a list, and I think after about 5, I found another company, and I gave them a call again, gave my details, and he said, let me come back to you. I don't have your details in front of me, but we did do some tax return in Sydney last year, and I'll look it up. And he called me after 5 minutes. He said that we've actually found your details. We can actually forward you your tax file returns. Here I was completely given up of the situation, or understanding that I'm not going to buy this house because I don't have my tax documents with me. Then by sheer luck, I was able to find this company after some search. The day the auction was, I was doing an evening shift. And I said, look, I cannot miss an evening shift. I hate calling off sick. So I asked my consultant very nicely that, doctor, look, I've got an auction today. Would you please let me go for an hour? And I'll do the auction, and regardless of the outcome, I'll come back to my work. He said, okay, fine, go. And I wasn't feeling very good about it. I had a bad feeling. Anyway, when I turned up to the auction, the whole street was full of people who were interested in the house. There were at least 4 active bidders. My budget was very small. Obviously, I was a humble registrar with small amount of income, and I knew that I had to go up to a certain level, and beyond that I could not go on. So there were like 4 or 5 active bidders. One of the bidders actually just went in to a certain price level and just withdraw. Then there were 3 remaining. 3 people, continued to bid. The house price came up to very close to my budget, and I said, okay, I'll just go up by 1,000, and he outbid me by another 1,000, and again 1,000, and he outbid me by 1,000. I said, fine, I'll go one last time. This time I'll go 3,000 to round it off. And he stopped. He said, no, my investor is saying no, we're not going to go ahead. And I won that auction. I got the house, and I was very excited. That was my first house that I bought, and we just felt so happy. It was a small house. It is a small house. In fact, this house is the very same house. I'm just sitting in one of its rooms. The reflection which I wanted to share, somehow, you may get disheartened because of small disappointments. Had I listened to that text advice not to go for this house, I'm not going to get my finances sorted out, I would have not been making this video from this very house based on that advice. I would have lost out, and after that, who knows, I may have given up the interest. So if you really want something, then try your level best, and don't take no for an answer, even though it's coming from the most authentic source, a government official or a peer or a fakir or anybody. If you ever come across such a decision, don't let it be your disappointment. Let it be your success story. I wish you all the best, and I'd like to end this conversation on a very relevant and beautiful Urdu poetry. हार हो जाती है जब मान लिया जाता है, हार हो जाती है जब मान लिया जाता है, जीत तब होती है जब ठान लिया जाता है. By Shakil Azmi. You only lose when you accept that you have lost. You win when you think that you're going to win. Look after yourself and have a great day.